All right, moving on to the interim town manager report.
With respect to our projects, the library exterior paint project is almost finished. They took advantage of the great weekend weather that we typically have in the fall here in New England. They have a few punch list items to do. We had anticipated as much as 2 months, given the weather, so we're glad that that one's coming to closure quickly. Our second DPW salt contract has been signed, and I think I mentioned to you last week that the tree cutting services contract had come in a little bit above what we expected, but they've agreed to accept the unit price at $47.5 not to exceed, so we'll be able to proceed with that contract. We have 3 bids due tomorrow, all of which are ARPA projects, so that will help us get a clearer picture of where we stand and be able to report to you in much better detail at our next meeting. That's the DPW garage flooring, the partial roof replacement at the DPW, and the sewer manhole rehabilitation. There was one addenda that went out and everyone has acknowledged, or hopefully will acknowledge tomorrow when the bids come in. We have 2 site visits scheduled, the library teen room tomorrow at 1 p.m., and the town hall roof replacement is tomorrow, and then again Thursday, as we'd made that one mandatory. Both bids for those projects are due on November 4th, which will be the day before our meeting of November 5th. So that hopefully will give us, as I say, a much, much better picture of where we are with respect to ARPA. The Municipal Building Design Committee, I believe, met last evening. And some things to be provided to Julie so she can send out that addenda, and the bids are due again November 4 at 12 p.m. The data collection services contract had some last minute questions, which with the chair of the Board of Assessors were able to resolve on Thursday, and we are just simply awaiting for Vision to sign that contract at their end. We continue to have some open jobs, as do many organizations in this state. If you are enjoying watching this show on PAC, or talking baseball, or even talking garbage with the folks from Shaw's, any of those things, they're brought to you by our volunteers and videographers, and we are accepting applications anywhere from 2 to 10 hours per week, so a great chance to learn how PAC operates, and maybe you'll be the next YouTuber with what you learn. We do continue to have sewer business manager and assistant sewer business manager available, and unfortunately we have a vacancy today, as I provided to you earlier, in the truck driver labor category. I want to be clear, this does not require a commercial driver's license. This, with a regular driving license, can drive up to 1-ton vehicles, which makes them able to plow snow in our smaller vehicles. So if you think you'd like to come to work for the municipality, but you think a CDL license is required, it's not for this job, but Public Works will work with you to help you take that test, take the final test. We'll send one of our operators with one of the larger trucks so you can take your exam and help bring you along through the ranks. So this is a great opportunity for someone to break into the municipal employee side. We interviewed for our assessing administrative assistant, and keep your fingers crossed and light your candles. We'll be making that offer tomorrow, and we hope we'll secure that candidate. In terms of general communications, that we informed you last week, and I believe we supplied you with a copy of the memo that we sent out to all the Flat Hill residents. We did receive a thank you for communicating on that. If you didn't get that last week, I'll double check with Danny and just make sure. We will make sure you get it tomorrow. The sales data, which forms the basis of our submission of proposed values, was submitted this past week and has been approved. We now submit our actual proposed values. It's kind of a 3-step process here, and the Board of assessing members need to sign that form, but we expect to get that done this week and have an estimated tax rate by the special town meeting for you. It won't be the classification hearing because of the 14-day notification requirement, but we will be able to provide you, assuming each submission is approved by the state. This one only took them about 2 days to turn around. We should be able to provide you with that estimate. As you know, we've been working with Mart on the Lunenburg Connect program. That is one of the articles we'll be discussing here. I believe the board actually already voted in favor of it. I'd have to go back and double check. Those fares will be going up a little bit from what they are right now. We were able to keep them reasonable, I thought. So a 1 to 10 mile ride will go from 3 to 4, 11 to 15, I believe goes from 4 to 5, and the 16 to 20 mile ride will be $7. To Emerson, anyone, anywhere in Lunenburg, irrespective of the distance, I believe, depending on where you are, it's 25 or 26 miles to Emerson, will be able to get that ride to Emerson Hospital from anywhere in Lunenburg at $7 each way. So I want to thank Mart for working with us on that. Yes, the fares went up a little bit, but we did that to try to keep the amount of tax subsidy we had to put in it down a little bit. With the assistance of the vice chair, we signed off on a grant request from the Green Community Program for $225,000. On Friday, I got a sort of a hectic message from the school department. They needed my signature, so I sent the electronic signature down, and then our vice chair pinch hit for the chair, so we got that in on Friday. We did a staff training today on the challenges in dealing with First Amendment auditors. Your electronic copy has a direct link to a news story about this. We had about 15 folks in attendance. I'm not sure if they were here for the training or the pizza and salad, but either way, we got about 15 of them here. I had some brief conversations, and they seemed to think that it was worth investing their time, and agreed that occasional training such as this would be useful, and perhaps we should try to expand from a volunteer to a voluntold basis of who should be here. But we're going to do a follow-up survey. What did they like? What didn't they like? Are there other subjects they think they'd like to have brought to their attention sooner? But it worked out pretty well. Julie and Annie just set up the chairs and used the TV monitor right there, as opposed to trying to get it onto the screen. So I thought that went fairly well. We have been advised that the APDC and the Historic Commission have both voted to urge a merger of the two boards. Setting aside the merits of that, once we receive the
Can you say
actual,
those two boards one more time?
the APDC
Yep,
and the Historic Commission.
got it.
Setting aside the merits of that and how you would actually do it, we await their actual minutes and votes from them, and then we'll forward those to town council for review and discussion. There are some hurdles, I think both technically and philosophically, that you'll need to discuss once we can get those votes and talk about a potential approach for your consideration. We have Agricultural Commission, APDC, Board of Health vacancies, the Conservation Commission, the Cultural Council, Finance Committee, though we're down to 2 vacancies, not 3. My apologies. The Green Communities Committee, the Historical Commission, also has vacancies, and I think that may be what's driving this conversation between the APDC and the Historical Commission. Library Board of Trustees, Master Plan Steering Committee, the Personnel Committee, Stormwater Task Force, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. We are trying to do a review of all those appointments. Our process of keeping track of all the vacancies is not as smooth as I think. And so Annie's trying to go through all that and get the new listings up on the website. I did attend the budget task force last evening, and I believe Member Emke will report upon that under member input, so I'll leave it at that. And that is all that I have for you this week, unless there are any questions with respect to it.
Any questions for Carter?
I have one. If the LA4 is certified this week,
I was told that it was certified today.
it was today, okay, so what's our timeline now for new growth certification?
So what happens next is you submit the statistical update